Hey, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Listen, now that the health minister has signed the documents related to cannabis, how can the authorities, how can they make cannabis medical use only instead of recreational use? And the medical only cannabis use is already underway. And let me just tell you how the authorities can lock it in. I'm going to tell you about this. Please wait until the end, where I will get into some other things where you might be a little bit surprised about what I say. Personally, I don't really care what happens, but I will say I don't think marijuana should be legal anywhere. That's just my opinion, okay? I don't think people need to go to jail for a weed. For marijuana, I just don't think so. All right, the health minister has used emergency powers under the Traditional Thai Medical Knowledge Protection Act to impose regulations within 40 days restricting cannabis to medical use only. This includes a doctor's certificate for purchase and limiting THC-rich parts to qualified conditions. Now, to draft and pass a formal cannabis law, in order to do this Cannabis and Hemp Act, they need cabinet approval, then lodged into the House of Representatives, followed by Senate approval, scrutiny by the Constitutional Court, then royal assent by the king, and then you need the publication into the Royal Gazette to take effect. And the law can explicitly define legal uses, prescribing rules, and THC thresholds, that is, buds that are greater than 0.2%. Now, what they're going to do is reclassify the cannabis flowers, high THC buds as Category 5 narcotics. They're going to maintain the low THC extracts, that's anything under 0.2%. The empowering agencies, Ministry of Public Health, Narcotics Control Board, and Customs, AOT. Hang on a second here. What's going on here? Okay, here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. They are supposedly in charge of enforcing prescription checks, revoking licenses on non-compliant dispensaries, and cracking down on illegal exports and smuggling. Supposedly there are public hearings going on already, and there are supposed to be protests from growers and businesses who are losing recreational customers, and this is a measured communication strategy that supposedly can ease the backlash, but I don't think anything's going to happen as far as the backlash and the consultation. I think they're going to listen, and that's all they're going to do, and then they're going to turn back the law. That's what I think. I think it's going to be medical use only. And I think, in a way, well, if it's medical use only, you can understand. If they say recreational, then it's like, oh, recreational, oh my God, the wacky tobacco, it's so terrible for people. Oh my God, the kids are using it. Oh, it's terrible. It's just ridiculous. Everybody knows that alcohol is far more dangerous than cannabis. All right. They also are going to advocate for medical oversight to offset concerns about public misuse, especially among the youth. So where we are right now is the ministerial rules are in place, a pre-prescription, medical-only access, THC threshold definitions in action, okay. Formal law in progress, they are drafting the cannabis bill. It's likely awaiting cabinet and parliament review. The cannabis flowers are being moved back to Category 5 narcotics, and licensing, the enforcement is being scaled, and licensing is under review, and smuggling is clamped down on by the cross-agency cooperation. Now, to fully cement medical-only cannabis, authorities must lock in ministerial regulations immediately, pass a Cannabis and Hemp Act through all branches of the government, reclassify high THC cannabis as a narcotic, enforce rules firmly That's prescriptions, licenses, and smuggling crackdowns. And they need to manage the transition and socially and politically. If any one step falters, especially the cabinet backing or parliament approval, the policy risk stay in limbo. But the government is clearly pushing hard to make the change stick. And for some reason, I don't know why, but this is what I said when I started talking about this a month or so ago or whenever it was. I have this feeling that the government, they mean business now. Now, I've been wrong before, but I don't think I'm wrong in this case. I think they want to turn back the law. I think they want it to be medical use only. So they're pushing hard to make the change stick. Now, I've asked various AI and I've checked with Google and all sorts of things about whether or not you can go in right now and buy weed from a store in Thailand. And the answer is basically no. Recreational cannabis sales are banned. The health ministry has officially ordered that any cannabis sales must require a doctor's prescription and explicitly prohibited sales for recreational purposes. Bud is being reclassified. Okay, it's being reclassified. High THC cannabis is being moved back into the narcotics category, meaning it will again carry criminal penalties unless dispensed through strict medical channels. The rules underway, well, there's a pending Royal Gazette announcement, and all these measures will take legal effect once they're published in the Royal Gazette, which is expected very soon. I was under the impression they had published it. Then I was under the impression it's being published today. Now I'm under the impression it's going to be published in the next few days. Now, I don't know what that means. Maybe it could be 6 months. I don't know. But what this means is if you're a patient with a valid doctor's prescription for weed, yes, you can legally purchase cannabis, but only through licensed medical dispensaries. If you're a tourist or anyone without a prescription, no recreational purchases. Trying to buy cannabis without a prescription is now illegal and could lead to fines or criminal charges. Like I said, I think that a publication in the Royal Gazette could happen within days. We'll see. And the thing is I've been answering people and saying, watch what is going to happen. I don't care what the laws are, what the rules are. You know, I understand there's a way to get to where they want to go, but right now I think they're going to do what they have to do at all costs, and I think that people are going to be in deep doo-doo if they try buying without a prescription. So you cannot buy, supposedly, legally, you cannot buy recreational cannabis in Thailand right now, and soon even existing open cannabis shops must shift to serve patients with prescriptions only. If you're not a certified medical user, steer clear or risk legal trouble. Now, it's kind of funny because they have not published this in the Royal Gazette, and they are supposed to. In Thailand, no law, regulation, or ministerial order is enforceable until it's officially published in the Royal Gazette. Ratchakit Chana Beksa. This is a constitutional requirement, Article 77 of the 2017 Thai Constitution. It is mandated in there. So even though the health minister has signed the ministerial regulations to make cannabis medical use only, until it's published in the Gazette, supposedly it's not legally binding. Now, they say otherwise, but what this means is that the old rules technically still apply and cannabis remains in a legal gray zone. But practically, it's already changing. The police and local officials, they can preemptively warn, and they are preemptively warning and trying to intimidate sellers, especially those targeting tourists. Some dispensaries are self-regulating, anticipating the shift, asking for prescriptions, or even closing shop. Tourists and locals caught with cannabis may face greater scrutiny, even if charges might not stick, because enforcement is often selective and aggressive during transitions such as now. So they're rushing because of the political pressure, because they want damage control, because this supposedly doesn't look good to the outside world, and because they have bureaucratic momentum. And even though that the signing of this paperwork signals a clear policy direction, it does so even if the legal machinery is lagging behind. But until it is in the Royal Gazette, you technically can still walk into many weed shops and buy cannabis without a description, because it's not yet a narcotic and because the ministerial regulation is not enforceable. Now, if it's not legal, well, you shouldn't be able to try to push this through, but for some reason they are doing so, and they can make things difficult. Don't mistake this for safety. The climate is shifting fast, and once it's published, dispensaries without medical compliances will be illegal overnight. If you're considering buying or using cannabis in Thailand now, you're legally on thin ice, not because you're violating current enforceable law, but because you might be the last guy doing it before the hammer drops. Okay? And I have heard multiple deadlines for the shops. They're going to give a grace period. Well, it's supposed to be 40 days. Well, maybe that's 60 days. So it might be at the end of July, or it might be November 11th when the full crackdown kicks in. But legal force begins only when published in the Royal Gazette. And supposedly it's not out yet. It hasn't been done. So they're waiting on that. Now, in June to the end of July, you have the ministerial regulation and the grace period, and shops should prepare to sell only via prescription once the Gazette notice comes out. When the Gazette publishes the notice, the prescription is legally enforceable immediately. Okay? That means immediately, anybody caught. Now, they have not said, well, where are you supposed to get the prescription? How are you supposed to get it? What about a tourist who comes here and maybe he has legitimate pains, legitimate aches and pains? He can't sleep, whatever it is. How is he supposed to get his prescription? I don't know. If the Gazette comes out in the next few days or weeks, expect the prescription-only enforcement to begin immediately afterwards. By November 11, 2025, all recreational bud sales must stop entirely. After that, only licensed medical dispensaries can operate. So, there you have it. That's all I have, okay? You can yell at me, you can scream at me, this is not how it is. I'm just telling you, it's kind of vague. Well, we're gonna enforce this, but we don't have the legal right to. Okay? I've never said that they're doing anything other than that. I've just said watch. You need to watch. Okay? And I thought, as of this morning, I thought that it was already in the Gazette. I have not seen it in the Gazette. And I am scheduled to be notified by the Gazette once it goes in there. So, that's all I can say. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Till next time. Choke D, loud jerk, and my. All right, that's good luck, and see you again.